Well, good morning, and I'd like to introduce you all to my friends from Wright Austin, Joe Desotel Jr. You may recognize that name. His father, of course, been in state politics for how many years, and now Joe Desotel Jr. is leading up Wright Austin. If you haven't heard of that yet, it's basically what came when Uber left us. Wright Austin came in, and they thought it was affiliated with the city of Austin. It's really not, but they are a charity organization. So if you get a ride anywhere, and their wait times are down to nothing now, you could get a ride anywhere in the Central Texas area. In fact, it's from Buda to Georgetown to Lakeway all the way over to Bastrop. You can get a ride in this Central Texas area. But if you get a ride, you can round your fare up, and it's called Keep the Change or Round Up, and that money goes to charity. So they've got their first real check presentation today. They've only been doing this since June of last year, so that's a little over 6 months, and now they're actually starting to give money back to the community. So I also want to welcome today Felicia Pena from the Central Texas Food Bank. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about Wright Austin real quick, and how much money are we actually handing Felicia from the Central Texas Food Bank?
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for having me, Scotty. So Wright Austin launched in June, and we did that because Uber and Lyft had left, and we're, of course, a very innovative and creative city here in Austin, and we have lots of tech entrepreneurs who rose to the challenge and said, we can do this in our community, and one of the aspects we wanted to add to it was this donation roundup. And so far, we've raised about $75,000 through that feature in the app where riders individually choose to round up and give to a charity that they choose within the app. And, of course, as you mentioned, we have today the Central Texas Food Bank, which is one of the charities that are in the app. And we have a check for them for $3,485. And Felicia is going to tell us what that actually can do for the community.
Yeah, so at the Central Texas Food Bank, we're able to serve 46,000 people every single week across 21 counties. So that over $3,000 that was raised through Wright Austin's charity roundup component is going to provide over 13,000 meals for Central Texans in need. So it's a huge deal, very easy way to give, but allows us to make a really large impact.
And so all you do is really get a ride around Austin, and you can round up that fare, and you can choose Central Texas Food Bank as one of the charities. How many charities do you have now listed in your app?
Currently, there's about 40 charities in the app.
And so you can pick which charity you want.
Absolutely. I mean, there's animals, there's cancer research, there's just about anything.
Is there a Donald Trump resistance movement charity by chance?
We're working on it.
Yeah, I was
afraid. But we'll take you anywhere. So if you need a ride, to the border, you need a ride.
To the inauguration?
Yeah, to the inauguration.
Or from the border.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have drivers. They would love to take you all the way to D.C., I'm sure.
And they've done a lot of great stuff here. And why do people think that this is affiliated with the actual city of Austin?
Well, first of all, because we're called Wright Austin, I believe. But that just reflects the local nature of what we do. And, I think that because the city came in and had these rules, and there's a lot of miscommunication about whether that meant they were kicking out Uber and Lyft versus putting in regulations that they opposed as companies. But it's been pretty clear that we've been able to follow the rules, and we have 99% compliance of our drivers being fingerprinted and passed the fingerprint.
Do we need to talk about that 1% or anything?
No, I think the 1% is fine.
Okay,
we're working on them though. But yeah, so we've actually been able to give about 750,000 rides since June, and we do about 40,000 or better a week. And so, in terms of the roundup, we've had about 35,000 or more probably more at this point. But last I checked, right at the beginning of the new year, about 35,000 individuals have chosen to round up their fares.
And the cool thing about Wright Austin is that y'all do have thousands of drivers. So people are worried that there's so many new ride shares that popped up in Austin that you're going to be waiting 20 minutes for a ride, just like a regular cab. But in reality, I've got a Wright Austin in Round Rock with a less than 5-minute wait. I've got one downtown Austin for like a 3-minute wait. Mm-hmm. So you guys are right on top of it now, just like Uber was when they left. So it's out there. If you're not familiar with it, just download the app Ride Space Austin. And then if you are really innovative right now, you can actually use promo code KOKE, and they'll give you $10 off your first ride. And a lot of places, that's a free ride. So just try it. And if you do have to spend some money, use that roundup feature and pick one of the 40 charities like the Central Texas Food Bank, and you can really give back to the community. But I think it's really innovative, and you guys have done a really great job putting this together.
Well, I really appreciate that. And like you said, on the wait times, our wait times have come way down. We have thousands of drivers. It's actually still a great opportunity for some extra cash for folks out there who want to come to our office at 1203 West 5th in downtown and get signed up. And like you say, our wait times continue to drop. And we also, because we're a nonprofit, we're able to offer the lowest price in town because we don't take a commission from the drivers. So we take 0% from the drivers on the standard fares. So that's good for both the driver, and that means we can pass those savings along to our riders.
So, Joe, you're saying that you have as big a fleet, in essence, as Uber did?
Well, Uber never shared their data, but from what we understand and what we can gather, that we have about the same number of drivers. We have about
even already.
We have 3,500 active drivers.
And you're saying that qualifiably you're cheaper than Uber was.
Well, I don't know about Uber necessarily, but I would say our prices are competitive, absolutely. And certainly today, you can get a ride with Ride Austin where you can't with Uber. So I would say
it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, you can have an Uber app right now in Austin, but it is essentially useless. So this has been emerging as the go-to one now. A lot of folks have cropped up. I couldn't tell you any of them are, frankly. And I think that's been the biggest challenge.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, but you're maybe emerging. Am I wrong? As the biggest one?
No, I think you're absolutely right. And we launched in June. In July, was the only time we had data from the city to be able to say, what percentage of the market we were. We were about 4% at that time. We estimate that we're over probably 50% or close to 50% of the market, the entire market. So, the other 50% would be all the other ride shares combined.
And you said 40,000 rides a week?
40,000. Yeah, we did 43,000 rides last week.
That's amazing.
So you Ride Austin, 2 words to get the app. Ride Austin.
You can go to rideaustin.com, and it's generally it's one word, Ride Austin, rideaustin.com, and you can go and sign up as a driver or a rider.
But on the App Store, you could put it in as one word or two.
You can one word or two, and we'll be the first thing that pops up.
And I want to meet you before you go because you're in another studio. But I'm a big fan of your old man, Joe Deshotel, which I guess now I know is senior. Been a longtime friend of this program and is one of the most dedicated state legislators, and from the Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange area. Spends a lot of time in Austin. He is a listener of this program every morning and a contributor. And I'm more proud, I think, to call your dad, Joe, my friend, than just, a friend of the program itself, personal friend. But having said that, listening to you talk, Joe, you're a lot smarter than your dad, man. You come off like... the next level of Joe Deshotel Sr. That's very impressive.
It had to come from somewhere.
No,
you just call me Joe 2.0.
Yeah. Joe 2.0.
Yeah. So.
Now, there was some rumor, Joe.
Uh-oh.
That, and this is not at all on the script, if there was a script.
There's a reporter in there. Be careful.
Always working.
But, I'm not sure that Tony has been the one at the Statesman covering this story. In the saga of Donna Dukes.
Oh, boy.
Who, said, well, I'm not going to go serve in the legislature, but I got to get there to get my retirement, whatever the deal was. And then says, oh, by the way, yes, I am going to serve. So a Travis County grand jury handed down an indictment on her yesterday. I had heard originally that you were going to seek her office, and then I don't guess I've heard much since.
Well, it's probably a good thing since she's not, she said she's not going anywhere. But originally when she announced back in September, I did say that I was exploring that. And then basically because of Ride Austin and how much time this has taken to get a new business off the ground and be successful, really didn't feel that I had the
timing wasn't right.
Yeah, exactly. So now it turns out it's a good thing I didn't go out there and start raising money and doing all that stuff. But we'll see how that turns out.
Well, her seat will be available in 10 to 20.
Oh,
but
I don't know if I want that one.
Yeah, this is very interesting how that's playing out. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, one other question, and I'm not sure it's still there, though I was there 3 or 4 days ago. When at the airport, let's say they finally fixed that where you come in on an airplane It's like, well, where do I go? Did you ever notice that? And then finally, if you were following a crowd, was about the only way you could. All those years, it would funnel down this nondescript, almost little turn next to Ray Benson's place, and then you had to go around to the left to a dark corner, and you would find some escalators, and that's how you got to baggage. Did you ever notice that? It was never clear.
Yeah.
Well, they fixed all that now, and they've got these great sort of obvious gates, door kind of things you go through that take you to the escalator. Now everybody knows where they're going. But as soon as you come through there and get on the escalators, big signs were there. I'm not sure if they still are. That said, "Welcome to Austin for a free ride. Welcome to town. Your first ride is free." I think it was. Was that you? Was that right, Austin?
We did. Yeah, we had some big old signs there.
Well, I mean, that
airport.
to me was your challenge. I come to town to do business or whatever. I may not even know Uber's not here. I'm going to depend on Uber. And then you try to get on the app, and it doesn't even really tell you much. So what would you do? How would you know who to go to?
Right, and that's a great point. And, that's why we advertise in the airport, but we really try and get people before they get to the airport. So we work with event organizers, like we worked with Honda, who is a major sponsor of ACL, to make sure that we got the word out to folks coming into town for ACL. We're trying to do the same for South by Southwest. But here's an interesting fact. 90% of all ride sharing that occurs within a particular market is local. So even though there's a lot of talk about, well, business travelers, this and that, they really only make up about 10% of the market. So,
So it's folks it's going to work or doctor's appointment? Or
absolutely. It's Austinites traveling within Austin.
Is that
what
right?
It is. Yeah.
Well, that's quite instructive.
90%. So
I wouldn't have guessed that. All right, so that beckons one more question. I'm sorry, but thank you for your time. Thank you for what you're doing for charities like the capital area. Central Texas. Y'all changed the name on me.
We did about 6 months ago.
Well, because you're serving how many counties now?
21 counties.
21 counties,
46,000 people every
meals
week.
a week. Wow, I mean, that's amazing. What percentage of your drivers, how many did you say you had, Joe, at Ride
about
Austin?
3,500 active drivers right now.
What percentage of the Uber driving folks did you pick up?
Well, I'd say probably, rough guess, 80 to 90% of our folks have driven previously for Uber or Lyft.
All right, so up to 90%. Mm-hmm. So you're fingerprinting.
Yeah.
The issue was, should those guys have been fingerprinted? Doesn't look like it really should have been a real issue at all.
Well, it certainly hasn't really been an issue for us. So, but you may want to check on this. This interesting fact. The reports were due December 31st. They give a 15-day grace period. But according to the Transportation Department, there were some TNCs that haven't filed their reports. Of course, Ride Austin has filed our report on time, stating that we're in compliance. So, for whatever reason, it seems like not everybody took it quite as seriously, but we certainly did from the very beginning.
And TNC, by the way, is the official lingo for rideshare, whatever that the city. But what does that stand for again? I forgot.
Transportation Network Company.
TNC. Sounds a lot more official when you say it that way. Hey, our thanks, Felicia, and I know you're appreciative of these folks at Ride Austin, and to you, Joe Jr.
Thank you, sir.
Joe 2.0. and our best to your dad, who's now in full legislative swing over there.
And he's listening to the radio right now. Absolutely.
Oh, good. Well, I wish I hadn't said how much smarter you are. Take care, and nice to know you.
Thank you.
And back with more Tony right after this. Tony Plohetzky, of course, 926. Plohetzky, of course.